So today I want to show you the best investing apps that cost $0 when it comes to trading on those apps. Now, as we go through this list, all of these apps are going to be relatively easy to use. They will be available on iPhone and Android, and all of these are going to use most of the app entirely for free. And what I mean by that is some of them will have additional memberships that you can pay for, but getting the majority of the needs for most investors, you're going to get it right away without having to pay anything extra. And if you stuck around to the end, I'm actually going to show you some complete free guides to using some of these apps as well too. So make sure you stick around so you can get those entirely for free. Now, the first one we're going to be talking about here today is M1 Finance. This is actually the app I probably use on the most regular basis. So you can see here, it is great for beginners and intermediate investors, and this is going to be for long-term investors. So whether you're a beginner or intermediate and you're somebody who just wants to invest for the long term and not have to worry as much, this is a great app for you. You can actually create multiple sectors, and what I mean by that is you can kind of group together like technology apps or technology companies, I should say, or you can actually group together like energy companies or retail companies, fast food, whatever you want. You can actually group up different stocks together and kind of keep them in different sectors, and it's great. The next thing that I have as well is auto investing. This is great for setting and forgetting, especially for beginners who just kind of want to get the ball rolling and maybe don't have as much time to dedicate to investing. Once you set everything up and put it into place, get auto deposits going in, this is going to take care of pretty much everything for you. And that's one of the things I love most about M1 Finance. Now, they also have dividend reinvesting made easy, and this is, again, just what makes it so great for long-term investing, especially for somebody who doesn't have a lot of time to dedicate to this stuff. Because when you get paid out dividends from companies, that money can get automatically reinvested into your portfolio as a whole, so that money keeps helping you make more money for the long term. And another big thing is that they have fractional shares. This is going to allow you to put in any dollar amount that you deem necessary to be able to start investing and actually have that money have an impact on you, regardless of the stock price. So for me, as an example, when I started with M1 Finance, I started putting in $10 a week because that was all I could do at the given time. And that allowed me to start putting my money into companies right then and there versus having to wait to spend that money to buy the full stock. Fractional shares are amazing and one of my favorite things when it comes to investing. Now, next up here is going to be with SoFi Invest. Now, SoFi Invest is also great for beginners and intermediate users. You can actually follow along with other investors, kind of like a social aspect as well, so you can see what they're buying and selling. You can like their purchases, and I think in the future you're going to be able to comment on their purchases as well. Now, SoFi also does options trading, so this is definitely for somebody in like the intermediate side of investing. It's a great feature for people who want to make a little extra money when it comes to investing. Now, SoFi also has ETFs, which have no management fees. So they do very similar things with like the S&P 500 and different companies that put together ETFs. And the nice thing is they will not cost you anything more to have as a management fee. So it actually saves you in the long run investing in those. Now, similar to fractional shares, they have something called stock bits. This is essentially just allowing you to buy into companies in smaller dollar amounts instead of actually having to spend the entire thing to buy one full share. Huge advantage when it comes to getting started for a lot of beginners. Now, another great thing is this is an all-in-one app. So if you're somebody who wants to do their investing with their banking, with everything else like their loans, whether it's home loans or personal loans, and their credit card, SoFi pretty much does everything in one. So I'm a huge fan of SoFi. I love using them as a secondary bank that I have, and they have all the different features in one. So that makes it a really great feature for some investors. And then also too, if you want to sign up with a link in the show notes, they do typically have a bonus, anywhere from $25 to $50 using our link. But again, you can also just go to the website if you don't want to use the links. And speaking of, M1 Finance did have, I believe, a $500 bonus if you go ahead and sign up with them using our link, because that helps support out the channel, but then they know that we're sending you over. Now, next up here is going to be with a company called Webull. This is great for intermediate and advanced investors. So I definitely want to steer this away from some beginner investors because it can get very overwhelming very quickly. And not to say that beginners can't use this app as well, but definitely in the intermediate side of things, you're going to see a lot of benefits here. Obviously, you can see there's a plethora of data within the app, and that's going to be really relevant to you the second you open your account and start investing in the app. This is great for option trading as well as day trading, which I'm not personally the biggest fan of myself when it comes to day trading, but it is optional there for you. And then they also have paper trading. So this is actually one big advantage for a lot of people. You can essentially practice with fake money And this just kind of helps get an idea of, like kind of the what if scenarios. And I do recommend for people who are wanting to be a little bit more into the intermediate side of things to really start trying out paper trading if possible, because this gives you a lot more experience over time. And then if you check out that link down below, you will actually get 12 free stocks when signing up and making a deposit of about $100, which at that point, that should be a really good starting point for most people when it comes to opening their account. Now, next up here is going to be with Cash App. This is pretty much just going to be for beginners. If you're intermediate, this probably would not be the app for you, but you can actually invest as little as $1, so fractional shares as well. And that's a really great thing. Again, just getting the foot in the door when it comes to investing is a big deal, and building up that repetition of putting money in. So if you can say, hey, I could put $1 in a day, this is going to be great to get started with. It's very simple and straightforward. There's not crazy amounts of data on the app itself. It's really just for people who want to kind of play around with a little bit of money, maybe test some things out and try things out. One big advantage of Cash App is that it's widely used by many as their peer-to-peer money transfer app. So for some people who maybe are, buying something for a friend and then they're splitting the bill and they're sending that money to their Cash App, maybe that's a huge incentive for somebody to say, hey, you know what, then I'm going to take that extra $5 or $10 somebody sent me to go ahead and put it into the investments on Cash App. So that can be an advantage for some users where, because they have money in the app, it'll be more likely for them to go ahead and put it into the stock market. And then using the link down below, you can get anywhere from $5 to $15 for signing up. So make sure you check out the requirements for that. And next up here is going to be with Robinhood. This is probably the most known investing app out there. I know some people have a lot of criticism towards them, but regardless of that, honestly, they are one of the simplest and cleanest user interfaces when it comes to investing, and still probably one of the easiest ones to utilize as a whole. This is great for a lot of different investors, definitely for beginners as well too, intermediate. They do have some additional features if you wanted to pay a little bit more, but just the free version will get you pretty much everything you need to go through. Now you do get fractional shares as well, so you can buy in dollar amounts. Again, huge option for a lot of people because that will give them the freedom to be able to invest with a small amount. Lowest I think is $1 at a time. They do have options trading on here as well. So that way, if you want to go ahead and try out different forms of investing, you're going to have the opportunity with this. They also have instant deposits. You can see here it says $1,000+. So just having the free account, you could effectively deposit $1,000 or up to $1,000 into your account and have that money right away to start utilizing and investing with. And if you have their gold version, you can actually bump that up a little bit higher as well too. And what this does is, instead of having to wait for your money to deposit from your bank, it'll just automatically be available for you to start utilizing and getting into your investment. So if something dropped in price recently and you make that instant deposit, you can go ahead and do that purchase right away, and it makes it really nice. Now, another really big thing that Robinhood has is aftermarket trading, where you are able to trade beyond just the traditional time frame when it came to the stock market. And it just seems like they keep on expanding longer and longer time frames as far as when you can buy and sell stocks. And obviously not every stock is going to be available for this feature, but more and more are going to be coming online with that, as well as longer trading time. So it's going to be really interesting to see long-term how that works out with Robinhood and doing aftermarket trading. But this is going to be one of the few that I see pushing the boundaries to potentially even go full 24/7 market trading. Now, you can also see here, you can get a free stock for signing up with Robinhood down below, so you can check out that link. Now, like I mentioned earlier too, I do have some free guides that I want to give you when it comes to utilizing some of these apps. And I have a complete guide for M1 Finance as well as Robinhood that I'm going to go ahead and place right over here on the screen, so you can check out these videos and learn everything you can when it comes to utilizing these two platforms.